The garden is exploding with color.
Welcome to the June Garden Tour. Welcome to our garden here in Upstate New York, Zone 6A. It is officially summer and the end of June. So let's take a look at the whole garden, give you some updates on containers, shrubs, hydrangeas to come, lots of fun stuff in the garden. But let's take a look at our extra large Karima planter. This is something new that we had purchased this year, this big, huge container. So we wanted to go grand, but also keeping that floof in mind because we love those big floofy billowing kinds of containers. Up top here in full bloom is a jolly good clematis. This is something that we dug up from the ground to plant in this container. And we also added a Rise Up Lilac Days rose, which has a couple more blooms to come in its first flush. It's a little tired at the moment, but it will eventually catch up and really fill this Essex obelisk well. Below that, the next tier down is Meteor Shower Verbena. Love this annual. And then another ring around here, mixing purples and pinks. We have Double Delight Blush Rose Begonia, Bluebird Nemesia, Plum Dandy Alternanthera, and Pink Cashmere Superbena, which this one is giving a lot of foliage. I can't wait to see when it's got more blooms too. So that is full sun, and this other container here, a smaller size, it's still huge, is of the large Karima, that's the extra large Karima planter. That is this container here with a centerpiece of the El Nino Catalpa, new to us. And we're not sure if it's gonna stay in this container forever or not, but it will be giving us these big purpley pink, very vanilla scented blooms. I'm excited to sit right here. Well, this is Eric's seat, that one's mine. And we'll just be really in the fragrance. It'll be lovely. This is a Stratosphere Pink Picotee Gora. They're starting to fill in nice. And we're repeating the Blush Rose Begonia, the Plum Dandy Alternanthera, but adding in a Super Bells Double Twilight and the Aromance Pink Nemesia. And that's all under this lovely orb to give it a little structure similar to the Essex obelisk structure. Coming into the part shade, where we made this bold choice to use the Pungkill Japanese Maple as the thriller. It's happy. It's doing really well. We staked it so it wouldn't get blown over in the wind. But we've repeated the Meteor Shower Verbena that's loving the part shade or part sun. And I'm really impressed with that. I've been thrilled to see that it's keeping up with the ones with more sun. Below that, again, repeating that Blush Rose. This is a new Laguna Royale Lilac Lobelia, a Space Age Black Hole Rex Begonia, and this really awesome color Super Bell comes out next year, and it is Magic Grapefruit, or Double Grapefruit, which means that it comes out one color and changes with the heat. So big success on these containers. And then moving into our covered area, which is where we spend a lot of our time, especially when it's raining, which of course it has been so much. This container here, I would say this is part shade. It gets like indirect sun in the morning and maybe a little direct at the very end of the day, with a Kimberly Queen Fern, Pink Chablis Lamium, Rocapoco Apple Blossom Begonia. Impatient. I want to call that begonia all the time. Summer Wave Large Violet Terrenia. And this is a new for 2026 sweet potato vine called Shadow Storm that has not enjoyed the cooler temperatures, but since we have quite the heat wave coming through, I have a feeling that's about to start showing off. We repeated a lot of that same vibe here in our hanging baskets. And these, Eric, this is one of the best hanging baskets we've done.
They're my favorite for sure.
And that's not like a, ooh, we're so good at this. It's a, ooh, we really hit it out of
I
the
know,
park
it's like,
this
wow,
time.
we lucked out this time.
It's like, yeah, it's awesome. And it's funny because they're keeping up with each other in terms of bloom, even though this one probably gets a few minutes more sun because of the lovely gold smoke bush right behind it. That's become a tree, not really a bush at this point. And the house plants that we brought out are also thriving. There's new growth coming on this Calathea, the Schisma glottis, and this philodendron all have new growth in no time at all. Even the pink princess philodendron, like these are new leaves in just a week or two. So big success on this inside area. It's cozy. It's spa-like with these kinds of colors. So Eric, which way do we go? There's a lot going
I think
on
we can
in
go
here.
anyway. There's so much happening.
All right, give me that camera and you lead the way.
I did want to mention some unsung heroes up here on the terrace that really are eye-catching, including this night owl mungave. This is a hybrid, right?
Yep.
Of two plants, and Christopher, you'll know the name of that.
Manfreda and agave.
And these we overwintered successfully in the office under some grow lights, and they kind of lost a little bit of their color, but once we brought them back out this spring, poof, they really darkened up beautifully. And then we have another mungave right here called Lavender Lady. Look at that color.
Definitely my favorite mungave I have ever seen.
I absolutely adore it. Come on down here. You know our Malvern Hills Rose is doing its best. We planted this rambler last year, bare root, and all the canes died back to the ground. We had that tremendous winter wind this past winter that did a lot of damage, but as you can see, things are really rebounding. Check out our potager area. It is now full with tons of goodies. We recently did a video where we planted up these blueberries. These are the splendid blue blueberries, and Christopher, they are very splendid.
Oh, is there one for me?
Oh, there's a lot.
I know you had tried one the other day.
And we're very lucky that the birds have not discovered them yet.
Oh wait, that's actually good.
Oh yeah,
That's
really
good. I don't want to sound as shocked as I am, but I'm like, oh, that's great.
Well, we forget because all of our blueberries come from the grocery store and they're so almost flavorless, but these are very flavorful blueberries. And then our strawberries are also growing in. Lots of good stuff going on here. But what's most eye-catching in the potager, besides our Pascal urns with our Cascade Green Fairy Trail Bride hydrangea and Super Bells underneath. This one is double pink.
That's smitten pink.
And then we have more double twilight, which we had up top. And then we have regular pink Super Bells. And then we have, what's is double blue, right?
It's double blue.
Yeah. So come on over here. Very eye-catching. Flavorette Honey Apricot Rose, which has to be one of my all-time favorite roses we have added to the garden. It has this beautiful pinky coral, has a little bit of yellow in the center. It is so eye-catching. It smells beautiful. It has a beautiful form, and it's also edible, which is nice.
Love it.
Little update on our Taste of Heaven blackberry. It has been producing berries.
What?
I have been eating them. This one is a very tiny little baby one.
Okay, let me try. I haven't been able to try this one.
How is it? Not ready?
It wasn't ready. Ugh, I'm just here spitting it out on the ground. It kind of tastes like I just ate a piece of stem.
Maybe you did. I don't know. It was very tiny. There could have been something wrong with it. In the center there. That was funny. You should see his face. We have a lark ascending rose. And then in front of that is just almost open. I wish it was open for you guys. A small grouping of Invincible lace hydrangea, which blooms on new wood. And then our camellia is kind of just sitting. I was hoping it would be doing something at this point in the summer, but it has been cool, like Christopher said, surrounded by more super bells. But the pollinators are loving this leading lady pink monarda or bee balm. And it's spread a ton.
It has really taken off this year.
Which I wasn't expecting, but I'm happy that it did. But what's cool about this bee balm is that it stays this height.
It doesn't get any bigger.
It's very small, so it's great to have run it right at the edge here, and the pollinators seem to love it. Just starting to open, our pink mink clematis. Now, I took a rung out of this obelisk because I really wanted it to have this tumbly, romantic look, and I think it's accomplishing that for sure.
It certainly is.
It is. I think now we can mentally know we can put that rung back in and it will still tumble next year.
Yeah, it's going to keep growing. We might have to do a little cutback.
So come on back here. Now this isn't very exciting, but these are 3 berry heavy gold winter berries with the pollinator, Mr. Poppins, right there. So these will get big, beautiful orangey gold berries, but it wouldn't get them if we didn't have that pollinator.
And I see the little tiny white flowers on it. So the pollination should be happening.
And look at that. It has happened here.
Oh,
That's
let's
going to
see.
turn into berries.
Ooh.
Yeah, very cool. Something else very cool. Remember when we transplanted these delphiniums from the shady area and brought them out here into the sun? Look at them. Look at that color.
Success.
That is a really unique color.
You match.
Oh, I love that. And then it was paired beautifully with this larkus ending. You can kind of get an idea of what the color combo would have been, but you can see we've recently cleaned this one up. But look at that.
That is wonderful.
Down here on the ground, blooming beautifully, is a phlox. This is an annual phlox from Proven Winners, and it's a deep, intense pink. And Christopher, I know you're gonna know the name, and you know I'm not gonna.
It's Southern Blaze, something that everyone's seeing on the screen right now, but it does come out next year, and that's gonna be, I really like that color.
And Christopher, just back up like 10 steps, and we'll go over this little shady area quick. We recently cut back some perennials. This down here was some brunnera and geraniums. That'll flush back really, really quick. We have our blood good Japanese maple, which is suffering from a little bit of a spot fungus, but that's not unexpected in how wet and cold it's been all spring this year. Neptune hosta, right? Did I get one right?
You got Neptune.
And Empress Wu hosta back there. But look what I'm really excited about. Our lavender mist thalictrum. We've got 3 of them here. And they get so tall, and these are the flower stalks that are going to come out. Now, we have had the cotton candy thalictrum, which bloomed much earlier in the season. This is going to be a mid to late season bloomer, and it is stunning. I can't wait for you to see it. Sun King Aurelia in the center, which, believe it or not, is a perennial. That is not a shrub.
And that's 1/4 of the original plant that we divided.
Morning Light Miscanthus. And then back here, Christopher, we have our first... flopping on the ground, unfortunately. Gatsby Moon Oak Leaf Hydrangea bloom. Look at that. That is full.
It's the densest flower I've ever seen.
It's so pretty. But we've had rain, so it's a little bit floppy. But there's more coming on that Gatsby Moon right there, which I'm excited about.
I wonder if the other one will do better now that we've thinned the blood good just a little bit to give it some light.
Maybe. But also, I feel like we always forget to mention this tree. This is a Carolina Sweetheart Redbud, and it's probably 2 years old at this point. We purchased it bare root via mail order, and it was bent in half and sent to us in a cardboard box, and we planted it, and now it is really starting to get established. We have 3 types of redbuds. We have an Eastern Redbud, a Weeping Ruby Falls Redbud, and then we have this Carolina Sweetheart Redbud, and they all do very well for us.
Up here at the front of the house, we have the 3 containers, the Urbino planters in Nero Nuovo. I've been practicing that name. And we have this wonderful mixture of plants. I have been so happy driving in every day into the garage. The Supertunia Bordeaux, which I don't know if anyone dislikes this plant. It's so good. I'm so glad we discovered this during that really fun, what are we gonna do up here video? Mixed with the Selenia apricot begonia in absolute full sun, and it loves it. The Plum Dandy alternanthera again. This is that foliage accent we are repeating everywhere. Meteor Shower verbena. And then look what's over my head. This is a Cardinal rose from David Austin Roses on standard, meaning it's a tree form. And we happen to find 3 at the garden center. I think this one is the best specimen.
I'm just turning to show the other 2 that match. I mean, look at this, Christopher.
Oh, and then this is called Silver River de Delta. It's another new for 2026 that we're getting to trial. It's got this succulent look to it, and I think it adds that cool droopiness to this display.
It's really pretty.
Really love that. So let's continue back around here on the west side. We have our border of Ageratum, the blue artist, throughout the entire front of the house and throughout the garden this year. Catmint, been a little beaten by some of the rain. Behind that is Gabriel Oak Rose, gone over on its first flush. It's time for me to do its first big deadhead. Let's Dance Can Do, my favorite hydrangea, putting on all its little buds. I can't wait to see what color we get. You know, is it gonna be pink? Is it purple? Is it blue? Limelight Prime in its prime almost. Look at how vertical.
It exploded this year. It's been so wet.
It's just awesome. I really like the shape that it's very tidy in this way. And it's kind of pushing up some of the branches of the Shiloh Splash River Birch, which of course, how do you not love this tree with the yellow and green variation or variegation? It's so good. Really love this tree. As we go along here, some perennials coming, Fall in Love Sweetly. Another division of the Sun King Aurelia is doing well in that spot under Hollywood Juniper. And look at this combination. Dressed up, evening gown heuchera, putting out its little blooms right now, but that ruffly dark foliage with Roald Dahl, David Austin Rose. And this is one that's known to put out tons and tons of flowers, which also, you know, some of them have gone over. So we'll get those deadheaded. Our Vanderwolf pine, after it's, what, 6-7 years that we've had this in the ground, it's so big. It's really funny. This is one of the things we've gotten to watch grow from something that was shorter than us. So it's very special to have a plant that we can say has followed us along on the whole journey. Claire Austin Rose is opening, and I've been very excited about this because I had planted a clematis on it and I don't remember what it was, but look at that dark purple and that creamy white together.
It's really pretty.
This is going to be a really nice pairing. The Dowick Purple beech tree up here, it's killing it. It's growing really well. And it's funny with beeches, they come out so floppy and then they just stand themselves back up. This is that blue bubbly Baptisia has gone over. You know what's funny? You know how they turn into the rattles?
Mm-hmm.
It all fell off.
Oh.
You know, normally you would have those little rattles over the top, but it's putting out tons of new growth on top. So maybe at some point we'll just snip these off. I don't know, they're kind of cool.
Is this variety discontinued? I can't remember.
I think it's not around anymore. It might, I don't know, maybe that's why it's discontinued. This is the Ember Waves Western Arborvitae. It stays this color all year round. Really great contrast to our French lilac. It bloomed nicely. It's growing so well. That's what lilacs do. Below that, we're getting color on Invincibelle Ruby.
I know our arborescens hydrangeas are just starting to flower.
I'm so excited about that. Into this area, there's some new perennials that we added last year, some that we added this year actually. There's Firefly Fuchsia Yarrow in some black chicken wire because we know the bunnies would eat this. There's color right there.
Oh.
Little tiny bit of color on that fuchsia. And there's also color coming on some of the delphinium, but look at what's already here on this Violets Are Blue delphinium. This is, I believe, new for next year from Proven Winners.
Pretty.
This just went in the ground and it is loving life. Behind that is our 3 Emily Bronte David Austin roses. They get so big, and this year they got so big and they just fell right forward.
It's the rain.
They are just flopped forward. They don't look like it because they're so big and powerful. And then there's a clematis in the middle of it that I still can't figure out what the name is on that one, but I'm really hoping it just spreads out and just grows through the roses. Down here, we've created a little hedge with a new for next year Supertunia Mini Vista Pink Cloud. It's filling in nicely. We're not going to be doing much in the way of fertilizing as we're having a heat wave coming, but we're just going to watch and see how well it does. Under this ellipsis sculpture, this is something Eric got me for the iron anniversary. We've been doing that traditional anniversary gift thing for a while. So the ellipsis has a pagoda Japanese holly below it, which I think has officially put on a 1/2 inch of growth this year.
It's so pretty. And what's so funny about that variety is you can Google it to get growing information and nothing agrees. Everything's different.
Yeah, some say it's a huge tree, some say it's a specimen. It's a little varied. And as far as the rest of the color in this area, you see Ringo Double Pink. This is a nice small landscape rose, very healthy, sending out lots of color, but its first flush is kind of almost gone. And there are a few little pieces of bud in pufferfish.
Behind me is brand new this year, minus a couple of things. So we're going to start with the things that were already here. First, was Woollerton Old Hall, which is a small climbing rose from David Austin. Look at those flowers. One of my favorite roses of all time. So interesting and unique. Silver Lining Artemisia, this is its second or third year in the ground. So the rose has been here, the Artemisia's been here, the Emerald Green Arborvitae has been here, but new this year is an annual Pink Picotee Gara. I'm really liking this whimsical, airy, flowy repetition throughout the garden. And then in our Lichfield urn is a Rock and Grow something that Christopher knows the name of and I always forget.
Rock and Ground, Pride and Joy.
Yes, that. Let's Dance rhythmic blue hydrangeas are starting to flower and they have a nice purple color.
Love the color on this.
Pinky Winky Prime right behind it, also budding up. You'll see sprouts of Verbena bonariensis sprinkled about. We like to repeat that. It's an annual, but it will reseed itself for us. More Supertunia Mini Vista Pink Cloud in front. Our trio of Elizabeth roses is out of flower right now. Dahlias are growing.
They are. This is number 6.
North Pole Arborvitae. Now we have 2 varieties of Lobularia that are an annual for us that are both new from Proven Winners. This one, they're both blue, and one is Azure Blue and one is Royale Blue. I'm gonna guess that this is Royale Blue, or did I get it wrong altogether?
That is Blue Pearl.
I'm not even close. Blue Pearl, and this one's Azure Blue?
That one is called Azure. It is such a gorgeous true blue flower. Gardeners are always on the hunt for true blue. So that one is that nice blue, and this Blue Pearl has the white center.
And so something we like to do while we're waiting for specimens to get bigger is fill in with annuals. And this is a De Ruyter Serbian spruce that will grow very slowly and will eventually fill this spot. And we might have to, at some point, transplant this Flavor at Honey apricot rose over to where those annuals are. So, you know, we're always open to changing. Gardens are always evolving. Powerball hydrangeas coming along. Our friend Greg actually brought us an ironweed over from his garden, and that should get taller than the fence. I'm really excited to see how that does for us, but I thought that'd be cool coming up from behind the Powerball hydrangeas. More Gara, very eye-catching. Our Firefly Oriental Spruce. Look at that.
It's a sport of a Skylands spruce, so it stays just a little smaller than that Skylands Oriental and has that great yellow.
And behind it, you'll see Meteor Shower Verbena. This is the annual version from Proven Winners that doesn't reseed itself, but we couldn't wait for our Verbena bonariensis to fill in that spot. So we went ahead and planted some of that there. There is also a purple fountain grass, which is an annual grass for us. Again, being used as a space saver. Oh, what to talk about next? Probably the Tough Stuff AHA hydrangeas, right?
I think so.
So pretty. We planted them this year. Look at the size of these flower discs. It's so cool that they sent us 2 pink ones and 1 blue one. Of course, I'm loving the blue one because it's so unique for us in our garden, but I also really appreciate the pink one. Down here, we have an annual daisy. This is Bright Lights Pink. Buries its dead. You don't have to deadhead it. It does a great job with that. A giant drift of Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo coming along. And then look at this cute little evergreen. We call this the sorting hat, but its actual name is Gemstone Hinoki Cypress. And then up in here, there's frogs up in here now. They've discovered the pondless waterfall. So I just want to be conscientious of the frogs. We do have some sun patience. This is a coral sun patience, a sarcocoa. And this is our, it's not Arctic Jade, is it? That's the other one.
The other one's Arctic Jade.
Ice Dragon.
That's the one.
Ice Dragon Japanese Maple. And up here, we have our new for 2026 Gatsby Glow Ball Oak Leaf Hydrangea, which will stay small. It's a dwarf oak leaf. And then we have Rocapoco Purple Impatience. Some ferns and things that came with the moss when the pond was installed. Dog Hobble back there. Oh, something's up here eating the fiber optics grass.
Interesting.
I bet it's bunnies. What do you bet?
That's a good find.
Coffee Cup. Coffee, is it alocasia?
Yeah, it's an elephant ear.
Elephant ear. There's pickerel. There's more of that coral right there. Ooh, Montana moss, juniper underneath there. I'm excited to see how that grows. Some videos I've seen it grow much bigger than we're anticipating it to grow, so we'll have to, monitor that. This is the Arctic Jade Japanese maple. And then, Christopher, if you step down, I can just kind of talk about what's at my feet. Our iris is out of bloom, but that shadow storm sweet potato vine gets a little more sun over here, and you can see that it has put on more growth in this spot than up in that container. More meteor shower verbena, but behind it, Kodiak jet black durvilla is starting to flower. It has these neon highlighter yellow flowers.
Whoa, that is brighter than I was expecting them to be.
Me too. In front of that is a drift of Let's Dance Ariba, purple compact sun patience, and then our Ripplebrook Norway spruce, which looks like it's putting on new growth.
I noticed that. There's little spruce tips on it. Let me get down here. See, it's like, it seems late in the season to be putting on the little spruce tips, but it is.
But it's doing it. And then we'll come around this way. We have our peachberry ice coral bell, which I think that color just really pops against the blue of the buddleia behind it. This is Pugster Blue, which is a dwarf variety of butterfly bush, and you can see it's all budded up, ready to go. Another focal point of this bed is the Nordman's fir.
Orange dwarf Nordman fir.
All right, so I was close.
You were very good.
Right? I was 50% there. Rockin' Plain the Blue Salvia behind it, another Pinky Winky Prime. Christopher, check out how well your castor beans are doing back there.
I love castor beans. I'm not crazy about that bloom, but look at the massive leaves. So cool.
Yeah, you won't even notice those flowers once the leaves really take off in this heat. Back there are our Sgt. Pepper dogwoods, which will get nice and large and help fill in that corner. Beyond that is the Moffat Blue Juniper, which actually you can see is putting on a lot of fresh growth.
Quite a bit.
There. Green Giant arborvitaes are repeated across the back. There is a hedge of Arctic Fire Red dogwood along the back half of the Dry Creek bed, and I like that addition this year. It really cleans it up visually. Back to in front of me, we do have our Prairie Princess Vernonia, which is a hybrid or new dwarf version of the previously mentioned ironweed. And ironweed is native here in New York. Normally this would be blooming late summer, so the blooms are a little bit early here, but that's because they were greenhoused and sent to us earlier. And behind that is a glow pop holly.
Oh, I'm missing it. Hold on, there we go.
Bright yellow glow.
Ooh.
And that little quintet of tiny branches back there is an avalanche birch grouping, which will grow up nice and big and have bright white trunks. And to finish off this bed, we have reminiscent crema rose, which is in full flower right now, filling the air with fragrance. Enormous blooms for such a tiny shrub rose. This is strawberry punch, right?
Yes.
Strawberry punch super bells with a tater tot arborvitae in the center. And we are capping it off with stratosphere pink gara and a Montana moss juniper.
This is the coolest tree we have. This is Diana contorted larch, growing so fast, actually. It's put on so much growth, the trunk's gotten really thick on it, and it does have this very contorted kind of branching, and it's deciduous, so the needles all fall off, and then you can see all the crazy branching. Down here, coming into bloom right now, is Purple Illusion Veronica. Some of them aren't coming in as strong as others, but this was all planted last year from division. So I think this will thicken up and give us quite the show. Newly Noir Coleus is on the inside. This bloom right here.
Oh, we're gonna get a flower?
Might be the saving grace of the Seaside Serenade Glacier Bay hydrangea. We thought we lost the whole plant. The idea of this is a white lace cap bloom with almost black stems. So if this happens,
ooh, there's another one there.
oh, you know what? We might get a little show out of these. How wonderful would that be?
That would be unexpected and delightful.
Big time. Purple pillar rose of Sharon. It's been in this place for a few years. It's doing the pillar. It's going to be purple. I think this is such a great shrub just for having something that doesn't take up a ton of space but gives you huge impact. The Sherwood compact mugo pine that I wanted so badly because I said it looked like little tiny toilet brushes, and it does.
It
So
sure
that's
does.
good. We're trying some of the Aromance pink Nemesia in ground, and it's clearly happy. Under the Prairie Fire crab, which is loaded with the crab apples and putting on some fun growth. I have placed my hot pants China asters that I grew. I got jealous of Bethany, the Chicago gardener. She always had beautiful asters. So I found one with a hysterical name. Wait till you see
Yeah,
how...
why is it called hot pants?
Well, wait till you see how hot the color is.
Oh.
They're good. They're almost the same color as that phlox over there.
Oh,
They're really
okay.
intense. This is new this year, Nye Bevan, new to us, a David Austin rose. Stays a little smaller, has a beautiful, many-petaled, creamy yellow flower. Obsessed with that one. Some Walker's Low Catmint here. Rockin' blue suede shoe salvia, because we want more blue all the time.
Wait, look at our sad Tickle Creek birch.
Yes, the Tickle Creek birch had a lot of winter dieback. I cut the winter dieback off, and it's growing, but it just looks sad.
It looks so sad. I wonder if we should replace it with like a pillar and an urn or something.
It could be a pillar and urn. Something could happen there. And then frankly, we could put that in another location and maybe it would be happier there. It's probably not fully rooted in at this point. Mary Rose, this is its second little mini flush of roses. It's the first rose that blooms every year from us from the ground. We transplanted her here in the spring, so beautiful, and she brought a phalictrum with her.
A little seedling.
A little seedling growing right through. Also a verbena seedling is growing through it.
Perfect.
So in the near future, I'll probably put a stake here just because I want this to be nice and upright, not get blown over. Very happy, beautiful stand of Stand By Me Lavender Clematis. Has been blooming for quite a while now.
Very impressive.
Really happy with that. Also super impressive. Look at this perennial in the center. This is called Veronicastrum or Culver's root.
That I'm really stoked about.
The leaf structure is awesome, and the blooms are just going to be like tall Veronicas. I cannot wait to see what that one does. Let's jump across the path here. This catmint was cut back about 4 weeks ago, so it'll start blooming soon. It got really floppy with all the rain. Ancient Mariner Rose from David Austin. The dark foliage is gorgeous. The pink is gorgeous. It opens up to a beautiful yellow stamen as they age. Smells incredible. Definitely a must-have from David Austin. Behind that is the Stillwater's Clematis, also kind of doing a spilling thing. Indescribable watercolory, bluey, lavender blooms. They almost have a passion flower center to them. It's really unique. Reminiscent pink rose. 3 of these were transplanted and you wouldn't know it one bit. They are putting out beautiful fragrance, awesome huge clusters of rose. Behind that is the Quickfire Fab hydrangeas. Those 3 we placed here to be this massive 6-7 foot tall show. I think they'll probably not get 6 or 7 feet this year, but they'll get pretty stinking big. Huge hedge here of the blue artist floss flower. What kind of bird was that?
I don't know, an angry bird for sure.
That was an angry bird. The Lowscape Snowfire Aronia, it gave us flowers and it's given us berries, and now it's just giving us some nice healthy foliage. This is a green gable black gum or tupelo tree. It grows incredibly slow, but besides having intense red foliage in the fall, it is so healthy and glossy. I really love this tree. It did put on quite a bit of growth this year.
It did.
This got real happy this year, so good on that. I like that. This tree can live 250 years, so it's going to be a long time before that tree reaches its potential.
It's probably due for a limbing up, I'd say.
Yeah, it's getting there. This is the Sutton's apricot delphinium that did beautiful. It's reseeded itself. It obviously needs deadheading, but we want it to do more seed.
Yes, it is foxglove.
Foxglove. That digitalis, that's what I was thinking. Boscobel rose. These specimens are really lovely. What I love about Boscobel, besides the fragrance and the flower, is the coolness of the leaf color. It's like a sagey cool tone. Above that is just going out of its first flush, the Sensation Honeysuckle. Smells amazing. And it's been so fun. It really just filled up this side of the trellis, but it's starting to send out some stuff in that direction. A couple more of those compact purple sun patience that we had left over from the pondless waterfall area. And just planted and suddenly exploding into flower are more of the backlight luminary white phlox, which is one of my absolute favorite perennials. Buzzing and humming with bees is Midnight Masquerade Penstemon, with a lovely Invincible lace hydrangea in front, getting very close to bloom. The Monty Blue Spruce, sparkling. Its new growth is so vibrant. More Rock and Play in the Blues, which really always takes up this space because there is a gorgeous yellow rose in front of it that just had its big trim after its first flush. It was time. And below me is Let's Dance Skyview Hydrangea coming in with its first flush, and there's blue, kind of a lavendery blue. But then this right here has a little tiny lavendery pink. So who knows what this is going to be covered in, but it's going to be completely covered in flowers very soon.
We've got lemon coral sedum really brightening up, giving this area a nice bright pop against the dark foliage color of the Midnight Wine Shine Weigela. One of my absolute favorite specimen trees in the garden is the weeping white spruce. It's put on a lot of growth this year.
It's like, what, 18 inches?
And just, Christopher, this is worth popping over here quick. First of all, gorgeous sprays of Ancient Mariner Rose, but also look, our Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangeas are starting to flower, and they're very rich, deep pink.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful color, not what I was expecting it to be.
Speaking of flowering, look at Lady of Shalott Rose. Look, just gorgeous. This is a small climber from David Austin. We have it training against our wall. It's on the north side of this short wall. Highly fragrant and beautiful, very healthy. You might remember it got almost eaten to the ground by rabbits this past winter, and look how it has rebounded so well.
Incredible.
We have our Katarina Fountain surrounded by Walker's Old Catmint, some Sprinter Boxwoods, and a repetition of the Midnight Wine Shine Weigela, so it's on both sides here. But, Christopher, if you go from that angle over there, look at this. This is one of my most favorite things I'm most excited about, the Invincible Sublime Hydrangea Hedge. It is so happy and healthy right now, and the deer have left it alone, all thanks to our yard enforcer planted underneath. I really attribute it to that.
It is, like, there's something about this hedge. It almost looks, I'm gonna say it looks kind of AI almost. It's just so perfectly shaped right now.
Big, bold foliage. Look at this is the fresh bloom right here, nice and green, and they'll stay this color. They don't lose this chartreusey green, and then they keep sending out more buds. I'm in love with this specimen. And behind it, which really provides gorgeous contrast, is the Weeping Ruby Falls Redbud. I mean, look at that combination.
It's really special.
The foliage is kind of similar on it, but the color is such a bold contrast that it really works. Speaking of bold contrast, look at this right here, Christopher. This, the Invincible Sublime flower with the Boom Chocolata flower, that texture and color contrast is perfection to me.
So good.
Absolutely love it. With even more contrast happening with the Empress Wu Hosta and our clematis. This is a Rudel clematis. Down in there is a Sun King Aurelia and a John's Dilly Alberta Dwarf Spruce. That's as big as that gets. And right now it's a little lost in the garden, but it really gets to shine in the wintertime. Pagoda Dogwood covered in berries. And then we have our part shade, mostly shade area right here with a combination of Gatsby Pink Oak Leaf Hydrangea and some Pinkadot Lungwort. I can never remember these. Do you remember them?
That one is Pistachio Ambrosia.
And then we have our Tiarellas.
Those are Fun and Games, Shadow Tag, Hookarella.
Hookarellas.
It's funny, I have to say the whole name or I don't remember it.
And then more hostas. I know one of these is a drinking gourd hosta, and our columnar Hetze juniper. And that brings us to our arch, which is high bloom, high fragrance of Betty Corning clematis. Check that out. It's done tremendously well this year.
I'm in love with the clematis, and I never thought I would say this, but the clematis is stealing the show from the rose.
It really is. But again, they're playing very nicely with each other, because when these fade, the generous gardener rose that's planted on the sides is going to do very well. It'll be very happy. Underneath our eastern redbud, we have a trio of tough stuff hydrangeas. This is the original tough stuff. I'm not seeing any buds on it, Christopher.
You know, it wasn't that tough this year. It really struggled with the wind. So we will see what comes of that.
A nice river of Dark Side of the Moon Astilbe. This was purposely planted to have a complete contrast with the tough stuff hydrangeas, and it does well in a part sun, part shade setting. Underneath this redbud, as the redbud tree grows, it's getting a little bit more shade underneath, and so we added this Metamorphosa Japanese maple, which is a gorgeous specimen from Proven Winners. There are some daisies in there, more hydrangeas, which this could be their final year for them. Those are Cape Lookout.
Yep, Seaside Serenade,
Cape Lookout, which are supposed to bloom bright white mop heads, but they haven't flowered for us yet. This will be their third year in the garden for us. If they have no flowers this year, they're coming out. More Sun King Aurelia, a columnar gold cone juniper, James L. Austin, putting on some new growth as it's finishing its first flush of flowers. There's a nice established Wine and Roses Weigela behind it. I love that contrast.
This was the year it did very well. It kind of poo-pooed for a little while.
Speaking of very well, look at our quickfire hydrangea. They're very early. I mean, the earliest hydrangea in our garden is usually our oak leaf, and that is followed by our quickfires. And our arborescence kind of happen at the same time, because panicle hydrangeas, which is what this is, usually flower much later in the season for us. Like the Pinky Winky, barely any buds on it yet, but they're both panicle varieties. Our Fall in Love Sweetly Anemones are coming in. Our Autumn Joy Sedum's coming in, but look at this. These were just planted last year. Bare root, oh so easy peasy rose. I am astounded at the number of blooms, the intensity of color, and just how long it's been flushing this color.
And also the fact that there are tons of buds that haven't opened yet.
It's a tremendous performing landscape rose. Now, this isn't one that we're going to go in and deadhead or anything like that. It's going to shatter, and then the next flush will come. Between the Oh So Easy Peasy Rose and the Tromnar Blue Spruce, we have a small drift of Nulina Marcoleus. But look at the good news that's happening at the base of that Tromnar.
Oh, let me see. How far can I get in without smushing something?
We have a lot of growth. We were really worried because the rabbits had eaten so much away this past winter. We didn't know how much this would rebound this year. And believe it or not, it still doesn't look great, but it looks so much better.
It gives us hope for the future, because look at how gorgeous and tall and wild this tree is. To think that it was going to look like it had lifted its skirt to curtsy is not cute.
More floss flower, and then we have Anna's Magic Ball, which is a bright golden thuja. And new for 2026, we have Incredible Stormproof. These are very small specimens, but they are starting to flower. They should get up around here eventually and just be one giant mass. But they were very tiny when we planted them, and I'm very proud of them for flowering.
Mm-hmm.
More Rock and Play in the Blue Salvia. This is Oh So Easy Lemon Zest flowering back there. Augusta Lavender Heliotrope. More of our Rock and Ground sedum right here. And then look at our Jensen Urn. This is what we proudly deemed the floof container this year, with its pink Picotigara and its Meteor Shower Verbena, Superbena Pink Cashmere. This is a new Whirlwind White Scavola, improved for next year. More of that Supertunia Mini Vista, not Bubbles, is it Bubbles?
Pink Cloud.
Pink Cloud. Bluebird Nemesia, Super Bell's Grape,
Punch.
Right? Grape Punch. And then more of that Lobelia. Are we missing something? I feel like we're missing more.
No, I think you got everything.
Wow.
We really packed this container full.
We sure did.
It's doing it. It looks wonderful.
Another new Supertunia Vista for next year. This is Supertunia Vista Cool Jazz. You can see it's similar to Supertunia Vista
Something very large just fell out of a tree over there.
Honestly, I bet it was a turkey. They roost in that tree at night.
Which, I mean, have you ever seen a turkey fly straight up and land in a tree?
Yeah.
We have, and it's funny.
Yeah, they roost in that tree. I bet it was getting down or something.
No.
So Supertunia Jazzberry, Supertunia Vista Jazzberry this is like the cool jazz version of that. So remember we were talking about those meadow where we had just planted. This is the more established cotton candy. And look how nice this came back. And we're letting it seed because hopefully it'll spread.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this one is sterile or not.
It might not.
But honestly, it looks good out of color. And we were gonna deadhead it, but it kind of looks good.
I like it. And then where's the color back here? I mean, we've got some more little panicles coming in. Our prairie grass is beautiful. Northwind's prairie grass.
It's really nice. We
Gorgeous.
deadheaded, or not deadheaded, we divided so much out of the back of it.
Yes. Lemony lace elderberry back there. We do have a Jackmantii birch trio happening. This was recently cut back. So in a week or two, we'll get some more growth happening there. The little sting arborvitae, just a little teeny tiny baby happening. Crown Princess Margareta looking beautiful with a Superba Stackies next to it, which is a version of lamb's ear. A giant drift of Serendipity Allium, which is going to be coming in nicely.
Oh, there's buds coming.
I see them. And then we have Litchfield Angel with a nice clematis combo. That's pretty.
That's one of my Trader Joe's clematis. I love how that pairs together. Oh, I had tried 2 different castor beans this year. This is that purple castor bean, and the other one you've seen so far is the Impala castor bean.
So that one stays a little smaller though, right?
Yep, but it's supposed to have purple flowers, purple stems, purple leaves.
I think that'll pop really nicely where it is. Speaking of popping, look at this combo. This is cherry truffles, heuchera, with icebreaker Korean fir. I love that combination so much.
Good.
It couldn't be more different.
Yeah, it's like that absolute perfect combination of 2 things that contrast and give interest. And then right above it, when that's covered in that intense white phlox, how good.
Pretty. And then we have our hedge of Invincible Mini Mauvette, which is so strange this year because we've got big, gorgeous, small, teeny tiny, not happy, don't know what's going on right there, getting bigger and bigger. So I don't know what's happening in the middle. So we'll see if it's dying or just unhappy. We'll figure it out and we'll keep you posted. But before we head up to the front, I want to show you an update on our Sweet Romance lavender. Underneath, we did squares underneath our 2 specimen trees in the backyard. And really shining back here is our double play doozy.
Beautiful
right?
spirea.
Check that out.
Got to stop and smell that one. This area has some of our most prized moments in the garden when we talk about a vignette and layering color and texture. It starts here with the Peachberry Ice Heuchera, and behind that, very soon to bloom, is the Magic Show Ever After Veronica. That blue and orange contrast is awesome. Actually giving us a little sneak peek is the Bells and Whistles Campanula, which next year is going to be big and thick and fill that whole area in really well. Then we have the new Borghese Fountain that we added just this past spring. The Mugo Pine, just the standard species Mugo Pine. The Winecraft Black Smoke Bush, which was cut almost to the ground this year to give that really vivid color that we love so much. And then I guess we can mention the Kinsley's Ghost Honeysuckle. This pairing has been so wonderful to just take in and see all of the movement, and it's really a special area in the garden. And there's actually even a grass in here that is a Twilight Zone grass that will pop up soon and give a little kind of cool, fun variegated, not variegated, but just multicolored grass look. So this is the hydrangea room that Eric designed 2 full years ago.
Yes, fall of 2023 was when it was planted.
Okay, so we have Incredible White, we have Incredible Blush. Behind that is alternating Incredible Invincible Lace and Invincible Sublime. So imagine this moment here is going to have the blush mixed with the chartreuse. Next to that, the chartreuse with the white. then the lace is going to start popping through as well. And over time, as these get bigger, we know that Sublime and lace get taller than the Incrediballs do. So they can get just up to almost the bottom of, or maybe that little piece of trim at the top of the fence, and just really layer all of this color together. And we had such success, we planted all of the ambassador alliums back here last year, and they did exactly what we hoped. All that ugly foliage is covered up by the new hydrangea foliage. On the other side of the hydrangea room, there are bobos, kind of like puffy clouds. And there's a new mini Marvel's Midnight Campanula. It's a ground cover campanula that came back so nice for us. I really enjoy that. This is Invincibelle's Spirit too. There are 4 of them here. They are 4 years old?
4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5 years old, about to come into flower. So healthy. One of the most beautiful hydrangea blooms, I think, of all the hydrangeas. And behind that is a Quickfire Standard, also about to bloom. It is tall this year. I really like that. Pink Chablis Lamium, which is actually from a container we did in the past, because we like to take that, since it's a perennial, put it in the ground, let it run wild. Aphrodite Sweet Shrub, big, huge leaves, really fragrant, awesome flowers. Pretty cool, right?
It's gorgeous. Love that foliage too.
Okay, now you're gonna have to back up all the way. And I'll start at the bottom and move my way up quick. We have a combination of pistachio ambrosia and dressed up ball gown heuchera alternating, and we'll only know which one is which when we see the flowers. More of that Invincibelle ruby hydrangea, and that is under planting, this very demure, very sweet, very small Winecraft Gold smoke bush. We didn't prune it this year. We decided to let it go and do its full thing. I don't know if that's going to happen next year. What do you think, Eric?
I say we leave it.
You say we leave it?
At this rate, just let it be.
Why not? Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't need to look out that window.
No, who needs a window?
And then we have Brunnera. We have Simifuga. Is that how you say?
I call it snake root.
Or yeah, there's a whole bunch of names that I've seen for it. That's going to be really cool when that starts to bloom. Some Thalictrum was in there. We get into our sea of hostas, some coleus. There's foliage from up. What's that foliage from? It is from
the winter blooming ones.
The winter
hellebores.
Oh my God! Wow. It's been, see, we're out of season. I don't need to know. And this is the pollarded willow. Look how good it looks this year. You know, we've tree formed a dappled willow, and it's doing incredible for us. Another Pinky Winky prime like we have on the other side. This guy right here is just a Hinoki cypress. We've never staked it, and every year it does this droop, and then something stands up. So we're letting that live its best life. Wee bit innocent hydrangea. We did not know if we were going to see a bloom,
buds.
But we have flower buds. So good on that one. We do not have flower buds behind it on the Light O' Day hydrangea.
No, but I do like that foliage.
Yeah, the foliage is good. It's a keeper, but this is its 4th year of not blooming. Below you, Eric, is Red Rover Heucherella. And this is the Brandywine Viburnum that'll have multicolored berries on it. Lime Ricky hydrangea, which it's funny, this was the one that was discontinued and Sublime replaced it. But it's, I mean,
I can see why. The Sublime blooms are bigger and greener.
And doesn't this one transition to like a weird color after the blooms are done?
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. We have to remember to check that out. Our columnar Scotch pine, which has been here for quite a few years. It's one of the first things we planted as a very tiny specimen, was ravaged by the European sawfly larva. And so it's kind of skeletal in the middle right now, but the new growth looks fantastic. I think it looks good. Really cool. It looks good. This is a Weigela called Checkmark Trilogy. We did prune it back, and because of the way that it blooms on older wood, we only got a handful of tiny flowers and they're already done. Ooh, you found a big weed.
I did.
What kind of, oh, is that the weed that has the red roots?
Yeah.
It is the red root weed. Very strange. Surefire Rose Begonia. This is a big time winning perennial. I love it.
Annual.
Delft Blue Geranium.
Wow, they're doing so well.
They are really nice. And then something behind them is also doing very well. Teasing Georgia. that climbing rose. And this is the Superba clematis. Look at that.
Awesome.
I'm so happy. And there's rose and clematis already at the top of this Jardin tower. It's going to be utterly covered in blooms again. At some point, I'm going to need to hoist myself in there to stake some of the canes over on and latch them down, but it's doing great overall, as is our original Gatsby pink oak leaf hydrangea.
That is a happy hydrangea.
It's so good. Is this not exquisite? The big, huge oak leaves, huge panicles. Below that, we have Roseanne geranium that it's actually doing better than it has in the past. But as the hydrangea's gotten bigger, sometimes it actually climbs up into it. So we're going to have blooms popping through the hydrangea.
I love that
That
part.
would be really cool. This down here, the little chartreuse number is Aztec King Creeping Veronica. It looks like it might be starting to creep, which is good. And then there's some catmint in through here, behind or in front of the Vanessa Bell roses, also coming into the end of their first flush. And that is all under the tricolor European beech. This is the best color it has ever had. Really enjoying this. Back up here at the front of the house, you can see the hedges filling in beautifully of the Blue Artist floss flower. And look at this happy clump of wee white hydrangea, Invincible wee white. It comes out with this almost blushy tone and occasionally chartreuse. What's that about?
That's new to me this year.
That's funny. And then it will get this really nice clear white, and it just layers itself with blooms throughout the season. It's a really beautiful plant, and it's a lovely thing to end our June tour with.
Thank you so much for joining us on our full June garden tour. The garden changes throughout the entire season, so please make sure you click like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the next tour. And for more information on our garden, please visit growformegardening.com. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Christopher.
And we're Grow For Me Gardening.
Thanks for growing with us.